Okay. You see this dismissive attitude, at least for us in Azimio, we are okay being dismissed by these guys, the way they're dismissing. Halwale, who are you going to listen to? The ordinary Kenyan is telling you they don't want this thing, they can't afford it. The professionals are telling you they don't want it. Civil society is telling you they don't want it, it's going to ruin the economy. These private sector people that you're dismissing, they are the job creators. Listen to them. Who amongst us, Halwale, is worthy being listened to by this Kenya Kwanza government? Who? Are you waiting for the bishops to come, the intercessors at State House? Are those the only people you can listen to? We are discussing matters here that are quite grave.
Yes.
Halwale, even when you talk about savings, people save what is extra from their earnings after they have taken care of their basic needs. You don't force us to save what we do not have. You are telling that hustler who only makes enough. When they say people are living hand to mouth, it's not a joke. It's a truth that every single day the income that you make is only sufficient to take care and defray your expenses for that day. There is no more coin for us to save. So you can't tell us that you are encouraging us to save when our incomes have not grown. Focus on growing people's incomes. We have seen in other countries, people are happy to pay even 70% income tax. They are happy because their incomes can afford it and basic services are taken care of. Trevor. Number two, if you have disclosed here yourself that the Kenyan teachers are not part of this plan, if you're a Kenyan teacher, you will pay this levy, but you can be sure, Halwale has confirmed here, that house is not for you. That's what he has said. And if that is true, this is why Kenyans are saying, let it be optional. They say you can't tax me without representation. No taxation without representation means if this tax has nothing to do with me, don't involve me in it. You're talking about, the people in employment being jealous or being selfish. That is not the truth. In fact, all of us, every person who is looking out there for a job out there, they know that they want to contribute. People want to contribute to the growth of their country. They know that these taxes are mandatory. We don't look for jobs to pay taxes, Halwale. Please, we look for jobs so that we can be able to improve our financial standing, to help our families come out of poverty, to be able to feed our children, to school them. If you are telling me that the entire purpose of looking for a job is to pay taxes, there is no point of me working. I am working to employ and to improve my lot. You cannot tell me that the entire justification for people to have jobs is to pay taxes. That is not why we exist. So we are saying, grow the number of people who you are taxing. I have not refused to pay the 30% tax that I pay. I don't have a choice in it. I am saying if there were 2 and 3 or 4 of us paying the same amount, you would have more. Instead of milking one cow until it dies, you are a bullfighter. Why can't you understand these analogies that use cows? Okay. Get 2 cows, 2 dairy cows that you can get a liter each. Instead of taking 10 liters from one cow, it will die. Number 3, these proposals we are talking about, you told us that we are a net producer of cement. The cement manufacturers you are dismissing here are also telling you...
Dismissing?
Yes. You have just dismissed KEPSA. You have just dismissed Kenya Association of Manufacturers, which in fact is the biggest source of employment for me in this county. 60% of employment in Nairobi is from Kenya Association of Manufacturers. So there are people that I listen to, and I listen to very carefully. You people killed all your industries in Kakamega. So maybe you don't understand where CAM is coming from and the important role that they play in making sure that we are able to employ Kenyans. They are telling you, you have imposed another 10% export and investment levy on steel products and cement. The same things we're discussing here that should lower the cost of construction of houses. Halwale, listen to someone. Listen to someone. The hustler is crying. He's saying, please don't increase VAT on fuel. You are saying, itapita wapende wasipende. The hustler is telling you that they cannot afford an increase of 5 shillings on bread. You people have already increased price of bread. You promise these hustlers that you're going to reduce the price of unga. You are lying to them every single day that unga is now 150, 160. You talk to those same hustlers, and I will allow you, Halwale, out of my 17 constituencies, pick a constituency, pick a ward, pick a hustler. Ask that hustler how much they are buying unga in whatever ward in Nairobi you want to pick them from. You are not listening to the hustler. You are not listening to the professionals. You are not listening to civil society. You are not listening to us as representatives of the people. You are closed up in this state house where you just sing Hosanna from morning to evening, and then you impose these things and you don't want to listen to anyone, you just dismiss all of us. Okay. For me, I am happy for you to dismiss me because I know, as I said, you have profiled Azimio as a problem. Just don't shout. I can even decide to donate my time to you because you have what we call warped logic. What you are trying to explain, it doesn't make any sense. And Kagusha, I wish you were sweating like this on the floor of the House to defend the positions you took. For instance, to explain to Kenyans why you think the people of Mukurweini deserve to pay housing levy, to pay extra on fuel. The people of Mukurweini expect those roads. Just a minute.
Let him finish.
The people of Mukurweini expect those roads because they already were paying taxes. What they are protesting is extra taxation at a time when they are finding it difficult to survive. You are saying you are surviving, but the people of Mukurweini are not surviving. They are barely hanging on. If you had listened to those people, in fact, today, if you run a poll in Mukurweini, ask them if they want to eat or they want to see that road you are talking about and bring us the results. Number two, by the way, for roles that actually devolved was 360 billion shillings, additional from the money that they received last year of almost 2 trillion shillings. What we were asking for is less than 10% of that 360. We are asking only for an additional 22 billion shillings from the share that was going to the national government. In this particular finance bill, the National Assembly added the counties only 15 billion shillings, at the same time adding the national government 360 billion shillings. We in Azimio thought that that was unjustifiable, and that is why we were hoping that Halwale would have the balls to vote for money for people of Kakamega. But he doesn't have them. Number three, the case that is in court, Trevor, by Senator Omtata, is actually challenging the legality of a law. And if the court finds that the law is illegal or unconstitutional, the entire bill will collapse, Halwale. That is how this thing works. Number three, there is a Latin saying, when they teach you law, I am sure one of your children should be a lawyer. I suspect that one of them must have found themselves into the legal profession. So, because you deal with quantities, it is a matter of probability. I am sure some of them have ended up in the legal profession just by the fact of the numbers you are putting out. Inevitably, one of them must be a lawyer. They will tell you there is something called there is a Latin saying. There is a Latin saying, Halwale, that crimen nalum crimen sin lieg. It means there can be no crime if there is no law. Criminal law is so specific that it has to prescribe the act and the punishment. So there is no crime under our Kenyan laws called political responsibility. There is no such law. Okay. So what you do, Halwale, if you feel that you have looked at the entire criminal book, the penal code, and you can't find a crime to pin on Sifuna or to pin on Honorable Raila Odinga, you can use your numbers in parliament, like you're introducing this new bill on limiting the rights of protest. Then maybe you can introduce this crime called political responsibility. But as we sit here, Trevor, there is no such law. Kagusha says, he didn't see members of ODM during the debate. I remember you guys covered it live, the debate on the finance bill. You remember members of ODM, people like Mbadi, teaching the law to people like Kagusha, the difference between zero rating and VAT exemption. It was people from ODM like Nasama Tandi explaining to them the impact of this law. I didn't see Kagusha. In fact, I want to see a clip of Kagusha just to demonstrate that, first of all, he understands what the people of Mukurweini want, and number two, he understands the sort of punishment that he has imposed on his own people. This is a shame that you will live with Kagusha. You cannot run away from it. Finally, Trevor, we want to say this, that we are not unreasonable people. Sometimes people look at you and they think that this Sifuna is crazy. We are not crazy. It depends on the approach that you come with us. Those demonstrators who are skipping rope in Nyeri, what would be their reaction if, while they are skipping rope, not bothering anybody, somebody comes and just drops a canister of tear gas in the middle there? If, for instance, I say that on Monday, when we go to Kamkunji on Monday, we are only going to skip rope, will these people allow us to skip rope at Kamkunji? That is the question. What is this one ingredient that was missing in Siaya, that was missing in Meru, that was missing in Nyeri? What is that ingredient? It is the absence of police action. And that's what we are saying. All you need to do, Trevor, we have spoken about this thing so many times. I am even tired of explaining it. All you need to do, allow one day of zero police interference in peaceful protest and see a different result here in Nairobi. We have done it before. Okay. When we came to swear in Raila Odinga, when he ran away, him and Musalia were cowering somewhere, maybe in one of their homes. He has told us he doesn't have houses, he has homes. So I don't know which one they chose to hide under. Boss, we finished that swearing in. People left and went home. Not a single stone was thrown. Not a single business was destroyed. And people went home because we understand that right. Okay. When you say you should not be armed, nobody comes from home with stones. Nobody comes from home with stones and says, oh, now I'm armed, I'm going to destroy a house. I am going to throw stones at the police. We come to the streets like this. You have seen us, Trevor. You have been there. I walk into the streets of Nairobi like this from the front. I have been tear gas just walking on the road with members of parliament. There is a day we walked from the National Assembly side to the office of the Deputy President. We wanted to say hi to him and give him a petition containing the issues of the people, because that is what the law allows. I was tear gas there, and these things are known. They are there. What crime had I committed? I was armed with a people's petition. So what we are saying is this. We are tired of being mischaracterized, and we're no longer going to defend ourselves. You can call us all these names because you have called us all these names for years. ODM is violent, also and so. And we have seen even confessions from people from within their ranks, like one time when Mike Sonko confessed that these are the things they used to do to paint ODM as a violent party. They would hire old cars and go and burn them on Gong Road. Then they say, oh, destruction of property. We will protect life and limb. And we have said these people, they just talk because they know they'll stand behind the police. These people like in a Gachagua, I really want to meet this Gachagua man, just him and me. We see this bravado that he has. Where does he get it from? Where does he get it from? We leave all our police protectors behind and just have a conversation with him. I would really enjoy that, because they do that knowing full well that they will have people shooting at us in front. What we want to do, Trevor, we are not unreasonable people. When the Ruto called for talks, we assembled a team, we came to the table, we tried to talk to these gentlemen. They didn't know what they were doing. They were confused all of the time. They couldn't even make simple decisions like which color of tea we are going to drink today. They have to call the president every 10 minutes. Oh, Sifuna is saying this, what should we do? They don't have any wherewithal to handle the sort of negotiations that we wanted to have. So if indeed the president listens to his people, don't listen to Sifuna. We have said that. Don't listen to Raila. Listen to the people of Mukurweini. They are telling you they are hungry. Please scrap this finance. And this will be the end of the matter. Say without fear that Halwale is lying as to the nature of the debate in the House. There was a division of revenue bill that was passed by the National Assembly. He says he's been in Parliament longer than me. He missed the orientation at the new Senate because I think he says he has experience. During orientation, because I was a first-timer, I attended dutifully. They told us that you can distinguish between a Senate bill and a National Assembly bill just by the color. The color of the bills from the National Assembly is green. The color of the Senate bills is blue. There was a green bill, Halwale, that was put before the Senate. It was a division of revenue bill passed by the National Assembly. It was 385 billion shillings for counties and the rest of the money for the National Assembly. For the counties. When the money, the bill came to the House, it was committed to a committee. It's called the Finance and Budget Committee, chaired by Senator Ali Robo of Mandera. That committee report was very objective, saying, because if you look at what the Constitution says, the singular role of the Senate under Article 96 is to represent counties, not national good, not your political party, to represent counties and serve to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. That is why you are elected as a senator. There is no other job. Don't listen to these stories Halwale is telling you. Now, even in the question of distribution of resources here, if you look at Article 203, you talk about national good. The following criteria to be taken into account in determining the equitable share. Under 203(1)(b), C, it says the needs of the national government determined by an objective criteria. And the next one, to ensure that county governments are able to perform the functions allocated to them. This figure of 407, by the way, Trevor, was proposed by the Commission on Revenue Allocation, a constitutional commission under Article 215, whose single role is to guide the Senate on what is the objective criteria for the allocation of resources. Now, when this bill comes, when the amendment comes, because the Committee on Finance and Budget proposed the amendment that instead of the 385 that was passed by the National Assembly, we as a Senate should go with the figure that was proposed by the CRA, which was 407 billion. It is a committee report, a report of a committee of the Senate, chaired by the Senator of Mandera, that brought the question of, let's move this 385 passed by the National Assembly to 407. We rejected a recommendation of our own committee. The 22 senators voted against that amendment, including, by the way, members of the committee led by the chair himself, Ali Roba of Mandera. They voted against the 407. So, Trevor, it is a very sad day for devolution that you can actually be elected to protect the interests of the counties. Then you come and tell us stories about national interest. And I'll discuss this national interest. In this budget, 360 billion shillings is being added on the amount that the national government was receiving last year. In that division of revenue, 360 billion more to the national government, as opposed to 15 billion more to the county governments, as was passed by the National Assembly. In this particular financial year, the Senate has not added the counties a single shilling. This 15 billion was added by the National Assembly in the green bill that I have told you. So where is the equity? Why does the national government desire or require 360 billion more from last year? Where is this money going? It's going to buy vehicles for Musalia Mudavadi, Rigathi Gachagua, and William Ruto. They are 800 million shillings that we were told. It is going to pay these political rejects who are appointed as cabinet chief administrative secretaries. It is going to for T and Mandazi to State House. Where is the equity? We had the CS for Treasury before the PIC, the Senate PIC, Public Investments Committee, in Bunge just the other day. And he told us, because we asked him, we keep discussing these pending releases, exchequer releases to counties. We never discuss how much money does the National Treasury owe the national government, so that we see even Treasury is being fair in how it releases money to the two levels of government. We have argued that, in fact, this National Treasury is behaving like a national government treasury. And the evidence is there that, Trevor, 2 months to the close of the financial year, the counties are owed 90 billion shillings. Out of the 370 that was allocated, it's almost 25%. Meanwhile, the Treasury CS himself confirmed that only 211 billion out of the 2 billion shillings that went to the national government in the last financial year is owing 2 months to the election, less than 10%. You can see that there is a problem. We were very perplexed that our colleagues would not even put up a fight for the sake of their people. So when Halwale stands next time to say, oh, we need money for completion of the hospital they are building in Kakamega, the people of Kakamega should always remind him that there was an opportunity for you to put up a fight. Halwale, even if you added just 10 shillings to the amount that was passed by the national government, by the National Assembly, you would have done your job as a senator. Even if it was just 10 bob, so that the people of Malinya can know that the bullfighter fought. But when a bullfighter refuses to fight, it's a problem. Okay. Omwami, put up a fight for your people. Let's go to mediation. Every single year, I have watched the Senate go to mediation with the National Assembly. And there has been an extra coin extracted from the proposals from the National Assembly. All we wanted for you to do, all the people of Kenya expect you to do, is to do what? To put up a fight. Okay. Lastly, Trevor, yesterday, there was a debate on the Equalization Fund. Yeah. Do you know? The Equalization Fund, according to the Constitution, is supposed to help counties that are so-called marginalized to bring up basic services like water, roads, and hospitals to the level enjoyed by other people. Out of the 34 counties that are receiving that Equalization Fund because they are poor, marginalized, 23 of them voted against extra allocation of the 407 billion. Their senators refused money. Then you come and cry for the Equalization Fund. Yeah. We in Nairobi, we say, pesa ni pesa. Yeah. There is no difference between money is money. Okay. You cannot leave money on the table. Yeah. Then you start crying about Equalization Fund to build hospitals, because, as I gave the example yesterday, a contractor building a dispensary will not ask you, is this money from the shareable revenue or from the Equalization Fund? Yeah. Money is money. If you have left money on the table as a senator of Turkana, you cannot come and cry about the Equalization Fund.
All right. Veronica, did the senators simply